Welcome to Echoes. Untold history is more than just dates and events. It is a collection of human stories, triumphs, and tragedies, whispering to us across the ages. Welcome to Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Today, we bring you a forgotten maritime disaster that shaped the future of submarine escape technology, the sinking of HMS Poseidon in 1931. This Royal Navy submarine met its tragic fate in the waters off China's coast, leaving behind a tale of bravery, innovation, and a decades-long mystery. Join us as we uncover the story of HMS Poseidon, from its inception to its tragic sinking, the daring escapes of trapped submariners, and the secret recovery that took place decades later. HMS Poseidon, P-99, was a Parthian-class submarine, a state-of-the-art vessel built for the Royal Navy during the interwar period. Constructed by Vickers Shipbuilding and Engineering in Barrow-in-Furness, England, Poseidon was launched on August 22, 1929. At 260 feet long and weighing 1,475 tons when surfaced, she was an imposing presence beneath the waves. Her 8 torpedo tubes and 4-inch deck gun made her a formidable force, designed to patrol and defend Britain's naval interests across the globe. She was part of a new generation of submarines, built to withstand the harsh realities of deep-sea warfare. But despite its modern design, Poseidon's service would be tragically brief. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, the British Royal Navy sought to strengthen its presence in Asia, particularly in the South China Sea and the Yellow Sea. This region was of strategic importance, with rising tensions between colonial powers and growing instability in China. In November 1930, Poseidon, along with her sister submarines HMS Pandora and HMS Proteus, was sent to China to operate from the Royal Navy's base at Weihai, then known as Port Edward, a British-controlled territory on the Shandong Peninsula. Life aboard a submarine in the Far East was grueling. The intense heat and humidity made conditions inside the cramped metal hull almost unbearable. Sailors battled not only external threats but also the daily struggle of life in confined quarters. But in just a few months, Poseidon's mission would end in disaster. The morning of June 9, 1931, began like any other. Poseidon was conducting routine surface exercises 20 nautical miles north of Weihai. The waters were calm, visibility was clear, and there was little reason to suspect anything would go wrong. At approximately 12:12 p.m., the submarine was maneuvering when disaster struck. Out of nowhere, the Chinese freighter SS Yuta appeared on a collision course. Accounts suggest that Yuta, a 2,600-ton merchant ship, did not see Poseidon in time to take evasive action. Poseidon, on the other hand, was also unable to avoid the looming vessel. Within moments, the two ships collided. The impact was catastrophic. Yuta's bow tore a V-shaped hole into Poseidon's hull, just forward of the gun tower. Water began rushing into the submarine at an alarming rate. Within 4 minutes, the submarine sank beneath the waves, coming to rest on the seabed at a depth of 130 feet, 40 meters. On board Poseidon, chaos erupted as seawater flooded the vessel. 59 crew members had been aboard at the time of the collision. As the submarine sank, some were able to abandon ship in the few minutes before it submerged, jumping into the water and being rescued by nearby vessels. But 26 men remained trapped as Poseidon hit the seabed. For those left behind, the situation was dire. The submarine was dark, rapidly filling with water, and the crew had limited air. They knew they had only minutes before they would either drown or suffocate. It was then that they turned to a device that would make history, the Davis Submerged Escape Apparatus, DSEA. At the time, the Royal Navy's doctrine for submarine accidents was simple. Trapped sailors were instructed to stay put and await rescue. But in this case, the crew knew there would be no rescue team arriving in time. 5 men, including Lieutenant Lionel "Buster" Wilkinson, made a bold decision to attempt one of the first ever unassisted submarine escapes. Using the Davis Submerged Escape Apparatus, a primitive rebreather designed for emergencies, they flooded the forward compartment, opened the hatch, and swam toward the surface. It was a perilous ascent. One sailor panicked and did not make it. Another surfaced but later died due to complications. In the end, 3 of the 5 men survived, marking the first time in history that submarine sailors successfully escaped from a sunken vessel using breathing equipment. This remarkable feat changed naval policies forever. Poseidon's sinking shocked the British Royal Navy. In the House of Commons in March 1934, the Admiralty announced a significant shift in policy. Previously, submarine crews were trained to wait for rescue after an accident. But after Poseidon, they were instead encouraged to attempt escape when feasible. This event paved the way for future submarine escape technology, leading to the development of the Submarine Escape Training Tank, SET, in the UK. For decades, HMS Poseidon remained untouched on the seabed, until 1972. That year, the Chinese government secretly salvaged the submarine, raising it from the depths. At the time, China's naval technology was still developing, and Poseidon's wreck provided a valuable resource for studying Western submarine construction. This operation remained largely unknown to the world until 2002, when journalist Stephen Schwankert uncovered documents revealing the salvage. His research led to the book Poseidon, China's Secret Salvage of Britain's Lost Submarine, and the documentary The Poseidon Project. In 2013, reports surfaced that the graves of HMS Poseidon's crew members, located on Lugong Island, had been desecrated. Relatives of the fallen sailors were horrified to learn that the burial site had been neglected and vandalized. This sparked an outcry, highlighting the ongoing struggle to protect military cemeteries overseas. The sinking of HMS Poseidon remains a forgotten yet pivotal moment in maritime history. It is a story of tragedy, heroism, and technological advancement. The lessons learned from this disaster saved countless lives in future submarine accidents. Even today, the wreck of HMS Poseidon and the legacy of its crew continue to whisper their story through time. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Fact-check note: the escape from HMS Poseidon was one of the first successful unassisted submarine rescues in history. The Chinese salvage of the wreck remained a secret for 30 years before being revealed in 2002. Sources: Poseidon, China's Secret Salvage of Britain's Lost Submarine, Stephen Schwankert, Submarine Museum Archives.